So most people are using ChatGPT at a very basic level. Like they're using it for Google search or asking it to do basic tasks for you. So I'm going to be sharing with you a step-by-step process of how you can actually use ChatGPT to grow your business. So I'll be going over 4 steps that you need to follow. So be sure to take some notes and follow along to the very end. So step number 1 is to go on ChatGPT and give it as much context as possible. And when I say context, I mean, like, what is your business? What industry is it? How much revenue are you currently doing? What are your products and services that you're selling? What do you offer? Who are your clients? What are your challenges? And what are your business goals? I'm going to create an example right on the spot. So what is the business? So I'm going to say I own an IT company based out of California. Okay, this is a make-believe business, but you want to tailor it to your own business. Okay, so what is the business? How much revenue? Our business is currently doing $300,000 a year with 2 employees. All right, what are the services? I offer managed IT services. Okay, how much does it cost? So my services cost about $2,000 per month, and my contracts are for 12 months. Okay, so notice the detail that I'm going into. You want to give it as much detail as possible. Who are your clients? So our clients are law firms. How about that? Law firms in California. Our current challenge is not getting new clients. My goal is to surpass $600,000 in the next 12 months. So I basically want to double my business. Okay, and like I said, all of these things, you want to give ChatGPT context so that way it can give you a detailed plan. If you give it very generic, very surface level sort of details, then it's going to give you a surface level response. So the more detailed, the better. Okay, this right here is pretty detailed, but I could go even deeper, right? So think about how you can go deeper into this description. So now step number 2 is after I put in as much context as possible, I'm going to then ask it to write me a plan on how I can hit this amount. Okay, so I'm going to ask ChatGPT, write me a plan on how I can reach my goal. All right, and then now let's see what ChatGPT has to say about that. One idea it came up with is refine your value proposition. Okay, upsell and cross-sell to existing clients, increase prices, create strategic partnerships, expand geographically, invest in marketing, hire more staff, and establish a sales strategy. Okay, now all of these might not apply to your business. So if it doesn't apply to your business, you can just skip it. But really think about whether or not each item that it shares with you can actually add value to your business. And if it does, the 3rd step that you want to do is you want to dive really deep. So think about this like you're a psychologist. Okay, so think of it like you're a psychologist. If someone comes to a psychologist, right? The psychologist is not going to automatically give like a prescription or give advice. The first thing they're going to do is ask a bunch of questions. Like, how do you feel about that? That's the classic question. Like, how do you feel about that, right? So think like a psychologist where you can ask ChatGPT questions related to the prompts that it gave you. So that way you can go deeper and deeper and deeper. So for example, let's say, this applies to me. Like, okay, I want to upsell and cross-sell my existing clients. And so if I want to upsell and cross-sell my existing clients, as a psychologist, I might be wondering, okay, well, how do I go about that? I've never upsold or cross-sold a current client before. How would I approach that? So now I'm going to chat with ChatGPT and have a conversation and say, can you please lay out a step-by-step process of how I can upsell and cross-sell my existing clients? Okay, so that would be a question to dive deep. And so let's see what it has here. So the first thing is identify opportunities. So first you need to understand your client's needs and identify areas that might benefit them. Okay, so that might require you to look at each client that you currently have and figure out which needs can you fulfill and upsell each client. So that's the first step. Step number 2, develop relevant offerings. Okay, so look at different services that you can provide, figure out what would be best for each client. Maybe you create new offerings, right? Maybe it's something that you don't have right now, but you're thinking about these clients and you're like, okay, well, this person needs this. I don't offer that yet. Maybe that's something that I can offer. Communicate the value. So present your offerings to the clients and add value. Okay. Make the upsell or cross-sell, follow up, deliver on promises, monitor, and ask for feedback. Okay, so that's a step-by-step process. And like I said, I can go deeper in each one of the items if you have a question. So that's the first one. Let's see what else. Okay, how about expand geographically? So consider providing your services to law firms outside of California. Many IT services can be delivered remotely, and this could be a great way to increase your client base. Okay, so again, I'm a psychologist, so I'm going to be thinking, well, if I'm going to expand geographically, where should I expand to first? Okay, so maybe I'm thinking something like, where should I expand to that has the most amount of law firms? Okay, let's see what ChatGPT has to say. All right, so it's providing me some other additional places I can go to with the most law firms. So New York City. The city is a hub of law firms, especially those specializing in corporate law, securities, and commercial litigation. Great. So Washington, D.C., Chicago, Houston, Atlanta. So, okay, so based on this, I know I need to target these areas. Well, how should I best reach out to them? Remember, I'm the psychologist, so how can I, or why don't we do this? Can you create me a step-by-step process of how I can reach out to them? Okay, so first, step number 1, research and build a prospect list. And it told me that I can go to places like the local bar association list that can be found online. I can go to LinkedIn. Step number 2, understand their needs. Step number 3, personalize your approach. Step number 4, initial outreach. Step number 5, follow up. 6, set up meetings, propose a negotiation, finalize contract, and ask for referrals. Right, so it just gave me a step-by-step process. And remember, you can always go deeper, but that's just an example. All right, so let's see what else based on the strategies that shared earlier. So, okay, here's one. It says establish a sales strategy. So I know a lot of people currently don't have a sales strategy, so this might be very beneficial to establish right here. Establish a sales strategy. So create a systematic sales process to convert leads into clients more effectively. This could involve better qualifying leads. Okay, so as a psychologist, I'm going to now ask it, well, how can I establish a sales strategy? Or can you please establish a sales strategy based on my ideal clients? And I'm just going to add in a step-by-step. Establish a step-by-step sales strategy. Okay, here we go. Okay, so step number 1, identify ideal prospects. 2, research. 3, establish first contact. 4, follow up. Book a meeting, prepare a customized proposal. negotiate and close, onboarding, maintain relationship, and upsell. As for referrals. Okay, so now I'm going to share an example of how you can go deeper based on the initial results that I shared with you, right? So the first layer of results that I shared with you earlier is how to create a plan. Now, after diving deep, I'm into each item that I shared. I'm now going to go even deeper with each item. So identify ideal prospects. So use various tools and resources like online business directories, social media, and LinkedIn to identify law firms in your target area. Look for firms that are a size and specialty that would most benefit from your services. Okay. So, you can go on LinkedIn from here and you can start to identify those people. You can look through online business directories, social media. So some questions you can ask it is, okay, well, what are some online business directories that would be good for identifying ideal prospects? Okay, so let's see what it has to say. Okay, so I just shared LinkedIn. I just shared Martindale Google, never heard of that, but that's very beneficial. Find Law, never heard of that either. Avo, Google My Business, Yelp. So now I can actually start targeting those people. I can go on those platforms that I just shared with me and start looking through and building a list of people to reach out to, right? So that's how you can go a level deeper. Research, conduct, let's go step by step here. So research, conduct thorough research on each project, understand their operations, tech usage, pain points, and any recent news or changes that might signal an increased need for their services. So this is something that you might need to do on your own, and ChatGPT might not be able to help you with because it's more current, right? You're like targeting each specific type of business, and it might not know that business. So this is something that, using your reasoning, you can skip through. Establish first contacts, to reach out to prospects with a personalized email. Okay, so great. So now with this one, I can ask it to, well, maybe you can create me a personalized email or a personalized LinkedIn message. So say something like, can you please create a personalized email that I can send to them? All right, so here it is. Subject, improving your firm's IT infrastructure and security. Dear prospect name, I hope this message finds you well. My name is Phong and I am the CEO at this company, an IT consulting company, as a specialist in the IT. Okay, so this looks pretty good that you can send. Okay, and so you can, it also gave a note here. So please note that this is a basic template and it will be more effective if you personalize it, okay? So what you can do is you can now copy this and paste into an email after you went ahead and created that list of people in step number 1, right? And so, as you can notice, what you want to do is basically start with, and just to recap here, start with giving context and then ask it to write you a plan. After it gives you a plan, you're going to go into the items that are most relevant to you and whether or not you think it could help. And afterwards, you're going to dive deep into each one. And after you dive deep, as you can see, I can actually go deeper, like, for example, writing an email. And so after you come up with everything, okay, and this is not going to be done in a few minutes or even a few hours. If you're really serious about growing your business using ChatGPT, it might take a few hours, a few days, but you want to dive as deep as possible in one chat. So it could take a few days to do. Now, after you're done with that, you want to organize all these thoughts, okay? Because these are essentially thoughts in ChatGPT's mind. And so now what I'm going to do, step number 4, is I'm going to organize this into a very digestible OKR plan. Now, for those of you who don't know what OKR stands for Objective Key Results. And this is a methodology that many top companies use, such as Google. Google uses an OKR to hit their goals. So I'm going to, and you'll see what the format looks like here. And so I'm going to then ask it format all of these results into an OKR plan for my. So with OKRs, there's objectives. So objectives are like the macro, like the more, big picture plan. And then the key results are specific things that you need to do in order to hit that objective. And so objective number 1 is increase revenue from existing clients. Okay, and if you remember from earlier, it said to do it in multiple ways. Like, for example, one way is to implement a systematic upselling and cross-selling strategy within the next month. Okay, so another one is increase the average contract value of existing clients by 20% within the next 6 months. So literally laid out exactly what you need to do in order to increase your revenue, and also gave you a timeline of how long you need to hit it by in order to reach your goals. So here's another objective: expand business to new geographic locations with high concentration of law firms. Okay, so identify and research 3 new target cities within the next month. And as you can tell earlier, it gave those cities for you, right? New York, Houston, all of those. Create a list of 100 potential law firms and clients, and how I can reach out to these people within the next 2 months. Begin outreach to potential clients within the next 3 months and secure at least 10 new contracts from these cities within the next 12 months. So literally laid out a plan of attack for you to do it, right? Objective number 3, improve effectiveness and sales of outreach efforts. So develop and implement a tailored sales strategy for law firms within the next month. Send personalized outreach emails to 100% of the prospects on your list within 3 months. So you can even break these down, right? Like, these are key results, and you can ask ChatGPT to literally help you with this plan that it just gave you, right? So for example, if it told you to create personalized emails, well, you can ask it to help you create personalized emails if it's telling you to do so. Achieve a response rate of at least 15%. So let's say you're sending out these emails and nobody's responding. You can ask ChatGPT to help you rewrite that email to hit that 15% that it says that you need to hit. So that's how you can actually use ChatGPT to help you grow your business. Is first would start with the macro, right? So it starts with context, giving it as much context as possible. And when I mentioned context earlier, I shared with you 7, 8 different things that you need to give it. And then step number 2 is ask you to create a plan. Step number 3 is dive deep. And then step number 4 is to reformat it into an OKR format. That way it's easily digestible after you went back and forth with it for a few days.